We had a nomadic life way before treaty was signed, and we went to different areas for our raw rice harvesting, hunting, fishing, or gathering blueberries. So we moved around in what we called the Anishinaabe territory, and there was no lines on the map or no any of those things, no borders or anything. So we practiced our livelihoods in that area. And since then, when the treaty was signed, there was boundaries made where 55,000 square miles was the Treaty 3 boundary.
Okay.
And Treaty 1 and Treaty 2 were similar. If you look on the map, they're all kind of carved out. But we, as First Nations, Anishinaabe people, we traveled all over, and we didn't recognize boundaries, we didn't recognize territories. We call this Kitakiminan is an Anishinaabe term, which means our ancestral lands, where we do our livelihood, get our food, get our clothing, get our shelter from everything from the resources around the land.
Wow.
So when we shook hands with our ancestors shook hands with the person representing the Queen, that was a sacred promise, a sacred handshake. It was done with food, with tobacco, with the traditional items that we have, the war bonnets or the flagstaffs and different drums and the pipes, and all these things were in place when the final agreement was signed in 1873. Actually, October 3rd, 1873, near the Northwest Angle Reservation.
Okay.
Either we do it before or after, but generally close to that time to acknowledge that there was a sacred handshake done with the incoming settlers.
Right. And you were mentioning before, and I think you just said it too, but that in First Nation, a handshake is real,
yep.
A sacred.
It carries a lot of weight, probably more than handwritten agreement.
Right.
It's the handshake and the ceremony that goes with it, and the actual touching of hands between two parties.
Ah.
It's very significant.
Right.
Each year we're advised that we need to face the document, go to the ceremonial site, do our offerings, do our blessings, and do our acknowledgement of the significance of this sacred treaty, this agreement that was done between the Ojibwe Nation, the Anishinaabe Nation, and the government of Canada, represented by the Queen, represented by the government of Canada at the time.